tell me more about what you were thinking about care as reciprocity. What does that mean to you and to your work?
Everyone has different preferences and they have different needs. And when I talk to them, it's like, oh, what are your preferences around something? And then what are your needs around something? And when we think about an act of care, it's like, I mean, everyone is so individual that it's almost impossible to take care of every possible need during an experience. And it's almost, that could become a burden, I think.
First of all, like creating conditions. Really, I think care is about creating conditions, or I wonder if it's about creating conditions where people can meet their own needs, or creating conditions where, and I think specifically within participatory work, where people can be in the unknown of the performance together.
I think for me, this idea of preciousness and to be able to do a work without hierarchy, when the spectator and the creator are really at the same level and everyone can jump in and jump out, making sure that everyone can feel themselves without compromising the artistic work.
How does your creative work tell a story about care and also hold care for the audience participants? So shifting a little bit to thinking about work that is itself thematically about care, as well as also holding space.
What I kept learning is that how slow I had to be with people, how much aftercare was involved, how each person really had to engage and even discover how they needed to engage in the moment. Oh, and it was I learned a lot about humanity and about people that sometimes felt really wonderful, and sometimes I really felt overwhelmed.
You know, as artists, as performers, this kind of performative offering that we give an audience is an offer of care. And I guess how that is received, participated with, engaged with, is there reciprocity? Is there acknowledgement? Is there indifference that is met in an exchange?
There's so much about care that can get sidetracked into comfort, and really if it's about having a brave, productive kind of meeting space that's being convened, then it is about sort of that self-awareness or reflection that can go into care.
How does care factor in when the show or the experience is about the audience?
But I really want us to think about here at this symposium, how much we're talking about audiences and audience experience, and kind of the absence of audience members in our conversations.
The success, I guess, that I've found recently is in finding people whose energies and vibes work well with me. And then how do we share that energy and vibe in the space? We play games, we share bits of our history and our story. We talk a lot about the context of the world that we're creating, and how does that context of the world reflect on the context of now? And then eventually we'll get into the reading of the script and the thing and putting it in our bodies and all that other actory stuff, but a lot of foundational layering.
And that deep listening that you might learn in an improv class is really important in being able to just sense needs. And that also sometimes you totally get it wrong. And I have been in situations where I haven't checked in properly, or I missed a little signal, and it has resulted in measurable harm for other folks. And that the goal, I think someone mentioned Julie Salverson in the chat from previously, is the foolish witness, is that we may not do it perfectly, but we try, and we try again.
What are the political and economic implications of participatory labor, and who walks away with the cultural capital?
In the era of neoliberalism now in full form, that coziness, we're going to care for you so that you can just keep producing. We're not going to push you over an edge. We're going to ensure that you're safe enough so that you can go back into work tomorrow, is really had become an aesthetic standard.
I mean, I think you can be caring for an audience without making it daycare. I think it can still be theater, right? And I think that you can be caring without wearing it on your sleeve. And for us in that show, it was important to be respectful of our audience but also to be tongue-in-cheek about the culture of I guess, cozy washing.
I sort of mentioned how for me, care has these gross neoliberal connotations now because of the way that, especially the idea of self-care has been co-opted. And I brought up the Wellness Wednesday email I get from York University every week telling me to take care of myself. And so I think that's interesting in terms of it's supposedly about care, but to show that York cares. And yet, by its creation, it's actually kind of a disavowal of care or a refusal to follow through on care because I'm the one who has to care for myself, even if some of the things that need caring for are because of problems in the institution.